like Bill Russell, for instance, of the Boston Celtics. Now, you will be playing man for man, as I mentioned. Do you feel that you are ready for this? You've been ganged up on pretty much through your collegiate career and with the Trotters. Do you think the Trotters, for instance, helped you any?
Well, I actually do. I think there will be a period of orientation for me, of course, like it is for every newcomer in the NBA, but I think in the long run I'll be able to handle myself man-to-man with almost anyone in the league.
For one, there is no argument.
There's just really no comparison. If we had videotape, I think that it would just completely wipe all those thoughts away there was any kind of comparison between Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell.
For the other, it is a comparison to be shunned.
At first, I considered him a rival as a professional. But then I realized very rapidly that that was a mistake.
But for most, it is one of sport's greatest rivalries. A compelling conflict of two very different men who dominated an era of NBA basketball.
My game was styled to give energy to my teammates. And if I were to consider Wilt a personal rival and going to play that way, then I'd have to score a lot more. And that means I would have to make the energy flow a different direction.
Though Chamberlain overwhelmed Russell statistically, it was the Celtics who continually emerged victorious.
He was concerned, as great as he was, primarily with his stats, with his records. Russell was concerned with one thing: did we win or did we lose?
But defeating Chamberlain required a total team effort.
I had to worry about the Celtics. I didn't have to worry about guarding Bill Russell. I didn't think so much when I played against the Celtics to worry about what is Russ going to do against me. I was worried about the whole team, and the whole team played me. I mean, they had 3 and 4 guys on me from time to time. Russ would just be behind me.
He was the most intimidating player that ever played this game. There's been a lot of players that have played as well at different positions, but there's no one that's played the game any better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Championships are won by people doing things that seem unimportant, but they're the things that make the difference between winning and losing at the highest level.
From his first season in 1959, Chamberlain was the NBA's most devastating offensive force and the single greatest threat to the Celtics' championship reign. Even as a rookie, Chamberlain's task was clear, but though he would win the first of 7 scoring titles, the Celtics would win the championship, defeating the Warriors along the way. 1962 brought the same story, as the Eastern Divisional Finals' main attraction was again Chamberlain versus Russell. And the result was the same. 3 years later, Wilt would suffer another near miss, in dramatic fashion.
Russell he loses the ball off the support. We're putting the ball on play. He gets it out deep, and Havlicek steals it over the stand zone.
As they squared off once again in 1966, the Celtic dynasty would once again show their superiority.
We were a better team, emotionally, intellectually, and mostly, in most cases, physically, as a team.
He was a guy that had such vicious determination as far as winning a ball game, and he had the mind to just use every little thing in the book of fundamentals to beat the other team.
But that next year, a relentless Chamberlain would finally have his time.
When you're playing against the best team in the world, and they're continually beating you in the big games, you felt like, I got to do something special, I have to do something great.
Wilt's 76ers was one of history's strongest teams, but their celebration was short-lived as the Celtics recaptured the title the very next year. Hoping to change the perception that he could not win the big game, Wilt joined the talented LA Lakers.
I played with him and against him. I always felt that Wilt, in some respects, has gotten a bum rap for not winning more championships. But the real frustrating part, I think, was when people started demeaning Wilt Chamberlain simply because his team couldn't compete with the Celtics. They weren't good enough, except on a couple of occasions. Boston simply had more good players.
But changing teams did not alter the season's outcome, as Chamberlain was once again unable to loosen Boston's decade-long stranglehold on the NBA championship.
He was very good. He was a very great player. But we beat him. We were just a little better. And so that if you single Wilt out and say that he's a loser, that's not right. I just say we were great winners.
But more than who won or lost, it's the memories of the rivalry that endure.